Alright, let's be real for a second. We've been watching these kids grow up since 2016. We've seen them survive the Mind Flayer, Russian prisons, and whatever the hell Vecna was doing in Season 4. But after seeing Volume 1 of Season 5, I have a sick feeling in my stomach. The Duffer Brothers are currently doing interviews and saying things like, it's a massive season and the ending is beautiful, but they're also the same people who gave us Eddie Munson just to take him away 9 episodes later. They aren't our friends, they are storytellers. And in a story this big, you don't get a happily ever after without a blood sacrifice. Volume 1 gave us some incredible moments. Will finally getting his hands dirty, the military rolling into Hawkins, and Max's soul literally hanging by a thread. But it also felt like a goodbye tour. Every character got a moment that felt like a final bow. I've been digging through the kill code, the specific patterns the Duffers use to choose who lives and who dies, and I think the Season 5 Volume 2 death list is a lot clearer than we want to admit. Let's talk about Steve Harrington. If you go on TikTok or Twitter, people are literally threatening to sue Netflix if Steve dies. I get it. I'm one of them. But here's the cold, hard truth of screenwriting. Steve Harrington shouldn't be alive. Joe Keery was so good in Season 1 that the Duffers changed his fate. He was supposed to die in that finale. He's been on borrowed time for 4 seasons, and usually when a character is saved from their original death, the universe eventually comes back to collect. In Volume 1 and Season 4, did you notice how they doubled down on the Steve is the hero vibe? He's protecting the kids, he's leading the charge, and he finally had that vulnerable conversation with Nancy. But then, he talked about his 6-pack of kids. In 80s movies, that's a death sentence. It's called the dreaming of the future trope. The moment a character starts talking about what they're going to do when this is over, they aren't going to make it. I don't think Steve dies to a random monster. That's too cheap. Steve dies because of a choice. He is the Guardian. I'm calling it now. In the final episode, the right side up, the party is trapped. Someone has to hold the line so the others can escape the upside down. Dustin, who is basically Steve's younger self, refuses to leave him. Steve is going to have to do something heartbreaking, like locking Dustin out or shoving him through a portal and then turning around to face the swarm alone. It's the most Steve ending possible. He goes from being the guy who only cared about himself to the guy who gave everything for the people he loves. It would be the most violent, emotional death in the show's history, and it would cement him as the GOAT. Now, let's get into the lore. Will Byers, the boy who started it all. For years, we've wondered why the Mind Flayer chose Will. In Volume 1, we finally got some answers. Will isn't just a victim, he's an antenna. He can tap into the hive mind. But there's a darker side to this. We saw the true sight connection. Will can see what Vecna sees, but that door swings both ways. If Will can feel Vecna, Vecna can feel Will. I call this the Horcrux paradox. Just like Harry Potter and Voldemort, you can't kill one without damaging the other. If the Upside Down is a virus, Will is the original Patient Zero. Even if the physical particles are gone, the psychic tether is still there. In the Volume 2 teaser, we see Will looking different. His eyes are white. He's sensing something massive. My fear is that the only way to close the gate for good, not just for now, but forever, is to destroy the bridge. And Will is the bridge. Imagine a scene where Eleven is hitting Vecna with everything she has, but he just won't stay down. Will realizes that Vecna is drawing power from him. Will tells Eleven to let go. He chooses to sacrifice himself to sever the link. If the show opens with Will vanishing into the dark and ends with Will choosing to stay in the dark to save Hawkins, that is narrative perfection, just like the Duffers promised. It's the kind of ending that makes you want to throw your remote at the TV, but also cry because it makes so much sense. While we're on the Byers family, we have to talk about Jonathan. Honestly, Jonathan has been through the ringer, but in Volume 1, his storyline felt a little stagnant, right? He's distant and he's clearly struggling. But then, the Duffers drop the ring. The narrative rule of 3. You show the ring. You create a reason why he can't give it yet. You kill him before he can. By killing Jonathan, the Duffers solve a massive writing problem, the love triangle. They don't have to make Nancy choose between Steve and Jonathan, which would feel messy and a bit teen drama for the final season. If Jonathan dies a hero, it leaves Nancy in this tragic middle ground. It lets Steve and Nancy have a what-if moment without actually making them a couple. Jonathan has always been the one to fix things. I think his death will be mechanical. Maybe he's at the military base, trying to trigger an explosion to cover the kids' escape. It'll be quiet, It'll be fast, and Nancy will find that ring later. It's the kind of human tragedy that the Duffers love, the stuff that hurts more than a monster ever could. Before we dive into the next part, which honestly was the hardest one to write, I just wanted to say thanks for being here. If you've been enjoying these deep dives, it would mean the world if you'd hit subscribe. It's the best way to help this channel keep growing, and I'd love to have you around for the rest of this journey into the final season. Anyway, back to the heavy stuff. Here's the thing that's been keeping me up at night. When the Duffers promise the most violent death in the history of the show, they aren't just talking about a lot of blood, they're talking about biological horror. Think back to season 4. Vecna's kills were psychological. He snapped bones and gouged eyes from a distance. But volume 1 of season 5 just showed us that the Upside Down is no longer ghostly. It's physical. We're seeing vines merging with steel and particles infecting the very air of Hawkins. This means the most violent death isn't going to be a quick snap of the neck. It's going to be a takeover. We're talking about a character literally being consumed by the hive mind while they're still conscious. Imagine a scene where a fan favorite, maybe someone like Murray or even one of the kids, starts to turn from the inside out, their skin becoming part of the landscape. It's the kind of body horror the Duffers have been flirting with since the beginning. And if they finally pull that trigger in volume 2, it's going to be the most unwatchable yet legendary moment in TV history. It changes the stakes from we might die to we might become part of the monster, and once you realize that's on the table, every single scene in the finale becomes 1,000 times more terrifying. Let's talk about Max. Currently, she's in a hospital bed, but her mind is in Camazotz, which is essentially Vecna's psychic trash folder where he keeps all his victims. A lot of fans think Max is safe because they already tried to kill her, but I think that's exactly why she's in danger. Max is the only person who can fight Vecna from the inside. I think that Max is going to be the shepherd. In volume 1, we saw her trying to lead the other lost souls out of the darkness. I think Max realizes that to let the others go, someone has to stay behind and hold the door. Max's body might live, but she might never wake up, or her body flatlines just as she saves everyone else. It gives Max the agency she's been fighting for since season 2. She isn't just a victim, she's the one who takes Vecna down from within his own head. It's a beautiful, tragic ending for the most resilient character in the show. Okay, let's talk about the side characters who are definitely in trouble. Murray Bowman. Murray is the fan favorite uncle we all love, but he's also a truth seeker. And in these kinds of stories, the guy who knows too much usually dies the moment the world finally believes him. Murray going out while defending the kids with a flamethrower and a bad Russian joke, that's 100% on brand. Robin Buckley. This is my hot take. If the Duffers want to show that nobody is safe, they kill Robin. Why? Because her death would break Steve. And if Steve is already on a suicide mission, seeing Robin die would turn him into a vengeful god. Robin is the anxiety mirror for the audience. If she dies, the audience feels like they just lost their best friend. Vickie. Vickie is the new spark who finally gives Robin a reason to look toward a future, but she becomes collateral damage when Vecna sends demo dogs after Max in the hospital. Dying in a supposed safe place proves that normalcy in Hawkins is officially dead. It's the ultimate tragedy, an innocent life lost to a war she barely understands. Her death would turn Robin's frantic anxiety into a cold, focused, and vengeful rage. The final episode is called The Right Side Up. It's the opposite of the Upside Down. For the world to be right side up, the strange things have to go away. That means the monsters, the gates, and potentially the powers. I think the show ends with 11 living, but losing her powers. She becomes a normal girl, but she only gets that life because Steve, Jonathan, and Will paid the price. We're going to get a time jump. We'll see the kids as adults in the 90s. We'll see the memorials in Hawkins. Stranger Things has always been about the scars of growing up, and the finale of Volume 2 is going to be the biggest scar of all. Alright, that was a lot. My heart is already breaking and the episodes aren't even out yet. But I want to hear from you. Am I totally wrong about Steve? Is Will safe? Who is the one character you would literally stop watching for if they died? Drop your theories in the comments. I'm going to be in there all night debating this with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep the door open 3 inches.